Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're performing service on a Lenovo ThinkPad T490 laptop. In particular, we're replacing the display panel. As you can see, it has seen better days. Before we go on, the replacement panel was purchased on laptopscreen.com. I've used this website many times for many repairs, and they always offer good service, good feedback, good customer support, and especially if you're living in Canada, they offer good prices and also include little extras like these adhesive strips at no cost. So the cost of this panel was $101.95, including the shipping fees and tax in British Columbia. And once you're on the main page of the website, just type in your laptop model up here. Click on the applicable link. If they have it in stock, you'll have a few options to choose from. So first up, before we do anything else, let's power this thing on. Start hitting the enter button. F1 to enter BIOS. The left-hand side of the screen is clearly damaged, I can't see, but I was able to click around until I got to the config menu. We want to go over to power, and then we see disable built-in battery down here. And then we want to hit yes, and this will just disable the battery while we're performing service so we don't short out any components. Of course, we unplug. So of course, if the display panel is damaged and you can't see the BIOS menu, you can remove the bottom panel and just unplug the battery. I'll link to one of my other YouTube reviews of this laptop where it shows how to do this. So now to remove the display panel bezel, you want to take something like a flat guitar pick or this iFixit tool and score along the line here and gently release the plastic clips along the way. This bezel's already a little bit damaged over here, so I'm going to be gentle. And to be honest, it's quite flimsy material, so it helps to be gentle anyways. There's an adhesive strip just holding on the bottom part, and again, it's very flimsy. So be careful, otherwise you're going to tear it or just completely warp it by pulling on it too roughly. I would rate the process of removing this bezel a 0 out of 10. Now on to removing the panel itself. I'm zoomed up close because it's kind of hard to see the little black tab on either end of the panel, right here and over here. So this is an adhesive strip, and this tab is here because you can actually pull it up. But this is often easier said than done. You want to take great caution with doing this because otherwise, if it snaps off, you'll be having to dig into the back of the panel with a tool like this and just trying to get the panel off the adhesive strip, and sometimes you could end up doing some damage. Do note that we have antenna up here for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. We have our webcam and probably a cable underneath the panel. So just be cautious, take a look around at what you're doing, and we'll do our best. I didn't notice it, but there's actually a little adhesive strip here too, right beside the webcam and microphone assembly. We can actually pull this too to release the middle, and there we go. All right, and here's our cable connection here to the motherboard. It'll be held down with a clear piece of tape, so you just want to gently lift that up. So we don't want to rip this thing off the panel and potentially destroy any pins or connections. And there's a little latch here that we can lift up, and we can just gently pull the clip this way. And there we go. And there just seems to be an endless amount of annoying adhesive that'll take some extra time to remove. I know it says do not touch, but kind of have to touch it if we want to remove the panel. Just again, be careful that you're not coming in contact with wires or anything else that looks essential to the panel itself. So one thing I like to do before putting the panel face down on the keyboard for install, I'll just lay this microfiber cloth down. There is a protective film on the panel here that we'll remove in a moment, but just so we're not scratching up something that's new. And let's get the cable attached to the new panel. And just because this little piece of tape here is now not sticky, to hold this in place, I have some electrical tape that I'll put on. And taking the adhesive strips included with the order, I'll place one over here and over here. And now we'll test out the screen and see if it works. Hey, looking pretty good. Now we'll just power down and unplug. Now it's time to wrestle with that thin display bezel, put it back on. Let's take this off first. Alright, so I took this back off because there was some bunched up adhesive. Yet again, more struggles with adhesive. That was causing the bezel to bubble up a little bit. I just thought I'd take this moment to point out that there's a little plastic tab right here that you kind of angle in when you're inserting down here. And it'll make sense when you look at it really close, but it just kind of fits into like a little slot down there. So pay attention to that, because if you miss it initially, it's going to be kind of painful to go back and put it in place. Fair warning. Okay, another job complete. Thanks a lot for checking out my video. Hopefully this helped you out with replacing your own T490 display panel. Let me know in the comments below how it went for you, and I hope you have a great day.